Well, it's week 6 of the LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienware. I'm here on the final day, Sunday, to talk to FakeGod about how things are going at Dignitas after an epic match against FlyQuest, the cleanest win of all time, right? That's how that went? You would
Of
assign that
course, it
that
was
way?
super clean and completely deserved. Yeah.
Very deserved. All right, well, let's get into it. So first off, this is our first ever interview, FakeGod, which I'm surprised because I feel like your name's been buzzing around the scene for so long, but
Yeah.
how has this split been for you? Because obviously you've received a ton of attention. I've been covering this long enough to know that normally when new North American talent shows up in the LCS, people shit on them and flame them, and you've mostly avoided that. So, what has it been like for you so far?
Um, Honestly, I try not to really let any. Actually, what am I saying? I'm trying not to let any positive or negative criticism of me affect me that much because usually it doesn't matter because it's the something that my coach said is the only opinion that matters your team and your coach, yourself. That's it. So positive or negative, I just I'm just like, oh, that's cool, or oh, that sucks, and okay, oh yeah, that's it. But um, yeah, I just noticed there's a lot of positive ones, more so after the player of the week thing, which I didn't expect to get, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Why didn't you expect to get it?
Um, I thought those games were a little not deserving for me to get it, like the TSM one, because that was just a throw by TSM. And then the Golden Guardians one was just it's Golden Guardians, and then EG one. Okay, the EG one was the only one, but I didn't think the other games would count towards that one.
How
That's
how, how do you think you compare to other players in your role?
all. I don't think I'm the worst, but I don't think I'm the best either. Um there's
So you're
I mean,
somewhere between
especially this week.
second and ninth is the way you would rank yourself.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of disgusting mistakes in the this week of games, which yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I think for me personally, I'd rather be more consistent first before ranking myself uh well, I guess. I think that's something I should be working on.
So do you think people shouldn't include you in their all pro voting for this split?
Oh, what is that?
So basically, at the end of each split, they vote for MVP, right? But they also vote for
Yeah.
first pro team and second pro team. So they rank who were the top three, all the player or the some of the players from each team or a single player from each team, the media, and then also the broadcast.
Oh.
They assign who was the first, second, and third in each role, and
Mm.
so I guess so. Obviously, there's a lot of people to mention for that impact and et cetera. But what I'm just curious, do you think that your name should be in that conversation at all for top three?
Personally, I don't really care, but it probably wouldn't be anyways because the legacy of the other players would probably just overshadow even if I was actually playing really well consistently. So I don't really care.
Well,
That's all.
are you surprised? And we should say that as of this moment, we don't know where your final placing will be because there's tiebreakers to be had. But
Yeah.
are you surprised at all by how well your team has done? That almost sounds like an insult, and I don't mean it to be, but it's when so many people were placing so many of the rankings preseason, you
Oh,
know.
I thought the preseason rankings were kind of unfair because it was just oh yeah, he's worse than Niles or Revenge. It's okay, I'm not that bad. Come on. And it's the rest of the team is they're really we're not that bad, right? And it's yeah, let's just who cares about what these people think? It's just so stupid. And then we just played and it's oh, okay.
But
We're
what's interesting is that Dig has basically said hey, we this is a long term team. We're not going to necessarily I'm not saying that they're saying you won't try to win spring finals, right? But it
yeah.
doesn't seem like that's the way this was marketed, right? In comparison to
Mm,
C9 bringing Perks over and TL bringing
yeah.
Alfarian over and stuff. So where in your mind were you thinking of Dig, and how well did you think the team would be able to compete? I guess did it exceed your expectations, right? Because it seems to have exceeded most people's expectations.
Mm, I think it exceeded my expectations just a little bit. But
Okay,
yeah, that's mm, yeah, just a little bit.
all right,
But I thought I didn't think we would be like bottom like 10th team or anything.
right. There's been some folks who say that your win record, the split, does not necessarily represent how strong you are. And I'm curious what you think of that. Like perhaps like your win record looks better than perhaps the strength of your team.
Mm, I guess I don't know. It's I'd say I think a team's like strength can change depending on like the week itself, and it won't always be consistent. So I guess that's what they can mean by like the team win loss
Or maybe you get
doesn't
some
like
easy wins
represent
or
your
something
strength.
like that, right? Like that FlyQuest one. Maybe some people feel like, yeah, you guys lucked out and got some easy wins or something. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm just curious what you think because like obviously a lot of people are surprised to see Dignitas up here so well, and I'm curious if you're like, yeah, we did get some easy wins, or maybe you're like, no, actually, we could be even higher.
No, actually, we could be even higher.
Okay,
That's what I think. The only easy wins I remember are wins that we should lose, but for some reason we didn't lose. And the only ones those would be today, and
right.
then
I mean, that's the definition of an
maybe
easy win for most people,
yeah,
right?
and then
Like,
maybe versus like TSM. But I don't think like like half their games they just their enemy team just like rolled over for fun because it was against Dignitas, so they should actually be like 4-14 or something. But
yeah,
I don't think it should be like that or anything. I also think that can go the other way where we have some games where we should win, but then we lose. So it's like in the end, it's just counteracts each other. I feel like, and the win loss is just how it is, the win loss record.
yeah.
And
Are you like, because you spent a couple years in academy?
mm,
Has this year felt awesome for you? I can't tell because we're just meeting you and I. So I don't
yeah,
know if you get very enthusiastic about things or if you're just like I'm just chilling. I've met pro players that are in both places where they're like, yeah, I guess I'll play some LCS now, or if you're like, this is a dream come true.
um, I'm probably in the just trying to chill part, cause I've already experienced how it was to be an LCS in the very beginning, and for me right now, I'm just trying to play an LCS and make my mark for how long I'm here, I guess. So I'm not like overly enthusiastic or anything, but I'm still here.
Do you feel like you have the big ambitions to be like best in your role? Or like what would you like to achieve? Is it like are you like I want to win a final this year, or I want to be seen as like better than all these other guys that have come over,
I want
or
to be
getting paid a
considered
ton of
like
money?
maybe one of the best top laners at one point, and then I'd probably want to win. I want to win NA too, and
Okay.
like go to Worlds and like be like NA representative. But yeah, for right now, it's just like I'd say it seems a little far right now, or like with how far Worlds and like the actual like LCS title would be. It's like in summer or something, and it's like really far. So I'm just thinking about just improving still and reaching that point,
Yeah.
but not like or just like trying to take it slow, I guess, and slow and steady.
So every time Dignitas wins, there's a large group of the community fans, etc., who are like, "Yeah, North America, sticking it to these owners who say that we have to do a bunch of import stuff." Do you feel any pressure on that? Do you think about that stuff at all, or do you just not care?
Uh, we don't really care. It's just like, oh, that's funny how we're just there's import like discussions and then just 5 NA we're winning.
Yeah,
But I feel like most people with that would just be doing it for the meme. But I also appreciate like the people who like just want to support us for like being like Team Dignitas and who didn't expect anything from, or for different from the other people, like didn't expect anything from us, instead of just being like, oh wow, like 5 NA1, like haha,
Yeah.
it's like, no imports or something.
How con?
That's
Oh,
just more of the meme factor, I feel like.
yeah. How confident are you going into these best of fives? Because some people are like, this is when Dig will wash out. You know.
I will have a better answer to that question after our scrims.
Okay.
After today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be interviewing you at that time, so that's why I'm asking it now, FakeGod. But I appreciate it
Yeah.
if you're just not sure yet.
Yeah, I'm not very sure. I'm gonna be completely honest.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'd have to wait after the scrims to like really even have an answer. But right now it's just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, either way, I
50-50.
totally get it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for the interview. Anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
No, thank you for supporting us. That's all. I'm
Very
not
good.
gonna say anything else more and mess it up.
Well, you're not gonna say anything else and mess it up.
Yeah, it always happens. I just gotta keep it simple. Thank you for supporting us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. Most people don't mess it up at the very end when they're shouting something out to their fans, but I appreciate your caution.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LCS right here on my YouTube channel. Hey, Canada. So sorry about. Am I doing it right? The lack of Alienware code for you working over the past however many years of my Alienware deal. I guess we're in year 3 now. But we got it fixed. If you are in Canada, you can now use Travis10 off as a code at checkout when you order your Alienware PC. And I'm doing this for you. Okay, there was a decent amount of like pestering. Not that they don't. It's complicated, right? Because Dell's a bunch of companies split all over the place, and they own Alienware, by the way. So either way, we figured it out. We got you a code, Travis10 off. Use it to save 10% off, and maybe reward me with some maple syrup.